say the North will buy into this idea of one term. No, the North will not.
So guys, Nigerians have reacted heavily after Dr. Reuben Abati made himself a spokesperson for the Northerners, saying the North is not going to buy into Peter Obi's idea. Peter Obi has come out to say he is going to put his integrity at stake and offer to run and become president for one term. He said 4 years is enough for him to lay foundation that is going to help Nigeria to progress. You know, now Reuben Abati or Dr. Reuben Abati is saying that the North is not going to accept that. I mean, he went too far in this statement. Guess what? He was even making reference that Peter Obi is desperate for offering one term, one tenure. Peter Obi is also showing sign of desperation, you know, because he was seen sharing food in an occasion. We all know we have addressed that problem or that video that was there out there that people reacted to. Peter Obi was in a birthday of a reverend father in the southeast, and they told him to serve food, and he honorably served other people food. How come? That is a desperation for one to become president. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country. If Peter Obi even wants to show sign of desperation by sharing food, will he share it in the southeast? Peter Obi won almost 100% in the southeast. If he's going to show desperation, he shouldn't be in the southeast where he knows he already owns that area. So guys, I'm just going to allow you to take a look at what Dr. Abati said. He also said that the civil war has not ended, you know, that the civil war has not ended, and that the North is not going to buy into what Peter Obi is offering them, a one-term president. So guys, Nigerians have really reacted badly. Even Aisha Yusufu, then many people are really calling out Dr. Abati for speaking this way, being a journalist. How come he's speaking as if he is a spokesperson for the Northerners? Let me even take you through some of the reactions before you now watch the video where Dr. Abati said the civil war has not ended and that the North is not going to buy into what Peter Obi is saying. Take a look at this reactions. This person reacted and said they not trust the Igbo man. Shagari ran with a Kwema and Igbo man, and we have built a beautiful relationship with Arewa. The Southwest media and propaganda machine should stop the wrong rhetoric. The only 2 times Arewa and Igbos were in charge of the country, Nigeria witnessed tremendous development and peace. This other person said this guy has been paid by APC to continue with that narrative, but I believe he is still living in the past. This other person said that he is still blabbing about sharing food, blah blah, shows how despicable he is. I mean, why do people take offense over things like this? Obi said he will do one term to respect the zoning formula. He is supposed to get our accolades for making it open. This other person said the real question Nigerians should ask Reuben Abati is this: does he have an Igbo problem? Generalizing that the North has an Igbo problem is a fallacy. In the last election, the North, especially the North Central, voted massively for Peter Obi. The North is not a monolith. So guys, there are lots of reactions that I won't take. I'll be covering the other ones at the end of this video. But take your time and watch this video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Say the North will buy into this idea of one term. No, the North will not. Because the civil war in this country has never ended. I don't believe that Northerners who are already aggrieved with a Yoruba president will just shift and embrace the possibility of an Igbo president. There are contradictions in this country that have not been sorted out. We should lay the emphasis on competence, ability. If the Nigerian people are politically educated to a point where they can vote for a competent person, regardless of where he comes from, regardless of his religion, that's when this country will begin to move forward. So all this, I will do one time, I will serve you food, I will give you agbado. No, please. That's not going to work, in my own opinion. I don't know whether you disagree.
Well, I mean, competence, integrity, and all of that, very important for the next president of Nigeria, whether it's President Bola Tinubu as he wants to continue, or it's for someone else that will be voted, or whether Atiku Abubakar or Rotimi Amici and all of that. Yes, you've said it. Nigeria has not really recovered from the civil war and the politics of that period and all of that. But should we continue? That's what people are saying, and that's why it's time for statesmen to actually rise up. And why is a component part of the federation still being neglected? That's also on the conversation. When we started this country, independence-wise in 1960, it was started on a tripod. Democratically, the other 2 components of the tripod have ruled the country. So the debate will continue. Why is the 3rd leg of the tripod being left behind? Eventually, we had a 4th tripod, which was the the region that was carved out, the Midwest region that was carved out from the then old Eastern region. And the debate has been ongoing. Why not have someone from there? Well, we eventually had someone from the South, which happened to be former President Goodluck Jonathan. But then, how long can we continue to isolate one of the tripod that we started this country with in 1960? That is what statesmen, people who are thinking into the future, are saying. And that's why, if you look at politics, the geopolitics of Nigeria at the moment, the best chance that the Southeast has right now seems to be coming with someone like a Peter Obi. And then you see that if Peter Obi doesn't get it this time around, I wonder when next it could be. Because he just looks like a semblance. Why not pitching for him? Look at President Bola Tinubu too. You have said it very clearly. Nobody gives you the presidency on a platter. And so Peter Obi has to do more than just offering this proposition. You will see how Tinubu supported several people. Supported Atiku Abubakar, supported Nuhu Ribadu, and eventually supported Buhari before getting it. How many people has Peter Obi supported to get to the presidency than before coming? The only time he got the opportunity was in 2019 with Atiku Abubakar, but in 2022, 2023, he broke out. When people are saying that he should have supported Atiku Abubakar and it would have been an easiest ascendancy. Well, there are others who are now saying that the best way the Southeast can get to the presidency, from another thinking, is for Peter Obi to be Atiku Abubakar's vice presidential candidate, and by 2031, Atiku Abubakar will now hand over to him. That's the surest way. And I think Peter Obi and others too should consider this. Well, because no one gives you the Nigerian presidency on the platter of gold. But Nigerians need to consider the Eastern region. That's the only pitch that I find very considerate. And of course, the issues of competence can come in there.
Okay, I get that principled position. After all, Payo Adebanjo pushed that position. But President Tinubu is saying he's the one representing the South now. If Buhari did 8 years, the South is also entitled to 8 years. And that's where the argument is. And that's why Viability is talking to his colleagues, and they are saying that the Southwest will hold this position for another 4 years.
Now, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, is reiterating his promise to serve only one term of 4 years if elected Nigeria's next president in 2027. Now, in a statement on Sunday, the former governor of Anambra State explained that his decision to serve only one term is sacrosanct and inspired by the legacy of visionary leadership of American presidents Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, and Nelson Mandela of South Africa, each of whom stayed for a term or even less in office. But we're able to prove that longevity in office is not necessarily something that guarantees success, but rather it is how impactful and purposeful the leadership. That is what matters most. Now, responding to critics of his decision to serve only one term, Obi said that they should desist from judging him by their own corrupt standards, stressing that his word is his bond. Meanwhile, the Chief of Staff to the President, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has mobilized former legislators in support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's second-term bid and urged northern political leaders to support the project. This is just as the Northern Caucus of the National Forum of Former Legislators have endorsed the Southern presidency in 2027 and President Tinubu's re-election. Gbajabiamila appealed to the 2025 dialogue session of the Northern Caucus of the National Forum of Former Legislators, which was hosted by him in Abuja. He described President Tinubu as a leader whose track record and commitment to national unity warrants unwavering support. He pointed to the ongoing infrastructure projects across northern Nigeria, including road networks, rail line expansions, and agricultural revitalization efforts as evidence of the administration's balanced approach to national development. Well, joining us on Political Brief to discuss these stories is Arise Director of News and Politics Editor Samna Sambo. Good morning, Samna.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
I hope you can hear me.
Femi,
good morning. Good morning.
Vimbai and the rest of us.
Good morning, Samna.
Okay, well, where do we start from? Samna Sambo. Let's deal with the Peter Obi issue first. I have a report here, or a WhatsApp message from Chika Nnabuife, Head Media Subcommittee, Anambra South Zona Mega Rally. He used to be my colleague at The Guardian. And he's saying that, look, in our newspaper review this morning, we were saying that Governor Soludo made reference to Mr. Peter Obi, and that it is not true. And that the whole story about serving one term has nothing to do with Mr. Peter Obi, that Governor Soludo was referring to opposition candidates from the Anambra South Zone in the state who are talking about serving only one term. And he says, this has absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Obi. Please set the record straight. But apart from this complaint from Anambra, right?
Oh, okay. During the newspaper review, I don't think we mentioned Anambra.
No, not your review.
Oh, okay.
I think the review
at the beginning of the show.
Yours,
I'm with you. I'm sorry. My apologies.
So, this, apart from this from Unabufe, do you think it is possible in Nigerian politics for anybody who becomes president from any zone to promise, oh, I will serve only one term, and people will believe that person? Because these positions are not held only by persons. They are also held by ethnic groups, geographical zones, and all of that. And all of them will come and say, no, this is our turn. And if Mr. Peter Obi becomes president of Nigeria, do you think Igbos will agree with him to say, oh, I want to do only one term? When the last time they held the #1 position was since the time of Aguiyi Rossi.
Very interesting proposition by Mr. Peter Obi there. And then, of course, your question is very, very apt. There's always been this mutual distrust between Nigeria's ethnic groups, especially when it comes to the presidency. But like you have said, if he does come to power, it will be a different ballgame. But don't forget that your former boss, former President Goodluck Jonathan, then as president of Nigeria in 2010-2011, had proposed a single term of 6 years. Having seen how the presidency is being used like a football to be kicked around the 6 geopolitical zones, he has said that, look, if we want this country to move better and for us to achieve this rotational presidency, I think one term of 6 years will be better. And so that's the context from which I'm saying this proposition by the former Labour Party presidential candidate in 2023. And he's putting his integrity at stake. And, you know, it's like advertising. Peter Obi is pitching to the north and pitching to the rest of the country. But what I want to say is that Nigerians should critically take a look at it. They should give it a huge consideration, considering the challenges that we have right now. The Southwest itself, from which President Tinubu comes from, has enjoyed this Fourth Republic more than other component parts of the country. And I think Peter Obi was trying to direct that to other parts of Nigeria to take a critical look at it, because Obasanjo did 8 years. We've had Tinubu now completing one term, which will now make it 12 years by 2027. So if Peter Obi is able to, you know, put his integrity more at stake and reach out to the right stakeholders, he could actually pitch this in a better position that will make it look like the Southeast can conclude that 4 years that's left for southern Nigeria and that he stands a chance. People should hold him by his integrity. Yes, of course, he actually did well in the last presidential election and his integrity is at stake. But the major problem that I have with him is not this pitching that he has brought in place. It's for the fact that he's confusing his followers, his supporters at the moment, because they don't know whether he's in ADC or he's still in Labour Party. And so that in itself, that he does not have a strong political vehicle that they can count on right now, is counting against him compared to this pitch. But this pitch that he has brought is a very, very perfect pitch. It aligns with what then President Goodluck Jonathan has said. And I think rational Nigerians who think politically and want the sustenance of this country should actually consider it, and they can hold the Southeast and Mr. Peter Obi to this one-term proposal. It's a very good proposal, conclude the 4-year of the South. But of course, then you have the biggest elephant in the house, President Bola Tinubu. Can he, if given the opportunity by ADC, for example, defeat a Bola Tinubu who is an incumbent, who has all the appurtenances of power, the coercive apparatus of state to wriggle his way into 2027?
Okay.
Well, it's left for us to see.
Except that nobody says ice cream in politics. Bola Tinubu is not going to give ice cream to another person because he wants to be seen as nice. That's not the arena for politics. Vimbai?
Now, beyond the politics of zoning, we also have to look at what's realistic and what's achievable. 4 years, do you think that's enough for anybody to make a real impact in the governance of this country? Especially what we've seen with this current president, the fact that reforms take time and they're saying we're turning the tide and so forth. Generally speaking, most people believe that 4 years is not long enough to make an impact. What do you think of this?
Well, I think Nigerians should actually do away with that mentality. Yes, it may not be enough, but if, for example, Peter Obi is coming to build on the reforms already put in place by President Tinubu, all he needs to do is to also introduce other reforms in other places. there's nowhere that is stated that you need 8 years. I mean, the people who framed the Constitution knew that there was going to be a time where presidents could only spend one term. And so if the electorate feel that the presidents, the incumbents have performed, they can renew the term. And if they feel that the incumbents have not performed very well, then the people have the last card to actually kick the president out of office. So the people who put this provision in the Constitution could have as well said it should just be a one term of 8 years. But they said, no, let it be a renewable term. And so if you have someone who is really strong in reforms, who really wants to put the country first, I mean, take for example, former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. He spent less than 4 years in power, about 2 years plus, and we are still talking about him today. The reforms he put in place, that, like for example, the amnesty program in Niger Delta, they are still ongoing. So we need statesmen at this moment. We've had enough of politicians who come to do 8 years, and we don't seem to have enough, including those politicians who wanted to extend their tenure from 2 terms of 4 years, like Obasanjo, where we had corporate Nigeria, for example, coming together in 2027, in 2006, 2007, wanting to extend the tenure of Obasanjo. If we want a reformist president, someone who just wants to put the country in good shape and then leave for the right leaders to come into place, I think we can do it. We can hold Peter Obi to his words, or even President Bola Tinubu, if his term is going to be renewed, hold him to some reformist agenda. It's long enough for us to just be giving people terms and compensating them because they have 2 terms or because they are from different regions. Can we try something new, for example, for the first time?
I mean, on this very same topic, we did see at the Arewa Consultative Forum not really speak as hopefully as you've been speaking. They say that this move from Peter Obi is political strategy because, well, I can't speak for them, but perhaps the belief is that if he says that he only wants to do 1 term, then people in the north would be more inclined to back his presidency because there would be a rotation of power back to the north thereafter. What do you think about what the ACF had to say about this promise to only serve 1 term if he is elected come 2027?
Yeah, it's a very good pitch, and the ACF and other component parts of northern Nigeria would want to actually give it a thought. But of course, then comes the question. It's not even about Peter Obi's proposal. My greatest fear for Peter Obi is that which major political party will hand over its ticket to him. Because the greatest fear is that Peter Obi, going into ADC, for example, can he stand an Atiku Abubakar at the primaries or a Rotimi Amechi at the primaries? Because Peter Obi has not really, if you look at his political trajectory, he has never stood at any major political primary and won that primary. In 2022, it was supposed to be his major test of national baptism in a major political party, but he left the PDP. The other times, he was just as governor in 2003, and of course, you know what happened with Ngige and all of that, and he came and he got a renewable time. So 2022 was supposed to be his major test, but he left PDP, went to the Labour Party, and of course, you know what happened, and the ticket was handed over to him. Now, if a bigger political party he wants to represent that big political party, he would have to face the bigger guys, like, for example, Rotimi Amechi or Atiku Abubakar. Can he defeat Rotimi Amechi or Atiku Abubakar in the ADC? Or is the Labour Party, as it stands right now, are they willing to give him the ticket? Because we hear that some of them are not willing to give him the ticket. So beautiful proposition, but the platform now is the major problem that I'm saying. And the North will look at it from that prism and say, look, does he stand a chance? But look at Atiku Abubakar to also pitch in a 1 term. Can he be trusted? Can the Northerners agree? Is it not easier for them to go with Bola Tinubu and be sure that in 2031 they will get it back than for them to go with an Atiku Abubakar that they are not sure? And then, of course, it will affect the geopolitics of the Nigerian polity. So it's left for Nigerians to decide.
Sumna, I get your point about platform. That has to be resolved. But I'm saying that any politician that comes to you and says, I'm going to do only 1 term, that's a sign of desperation. It will not work. Just like all these gambits about serving food, carrying plates, and doing boy at parties that could be better organized by event organizers, it's also a sign of desperation. It doesn't work. It will never work. And then the second challenge, of course, is that you...
So guys, let me quickly take you through some of the reactions going on the social media after Dr. Abati made this statement that the civil war has not ended. So somebody actually tweeted a section of this video on Twitter, and he said Reuben Abati just made it known that Nigeria has an Igbo problem. He made it open that the civil war against Igbos is still ongoing. Ndi Igbo shall prevail. So this person said Igbos will prevail. But let's look at some of the reactions coming from Nigerians, you know. This same person who tweeted said Peter Obi is a major part of the coalition. Before PO joined the coalition, there was an agreement between the major coalition leaders, and the agreement is very private and sacrosanct. PO is still a member of the Labour Party, and he will be contesting for, I think this is 2027 that I wanted to write. So let me also take you through other reactions coming from Nigerians. This same person said, they not trust the Igbo man. Shagare ran with Ekweme and Igbo man, and we have built a beautiful relationship with Arewa. The Southwest media and propaganda machine should stop the wrong rhetorics. The only 2 times Arewa and Igbo were in charge of the country. Nigeria, okay, what he was trying to say, Nigeria was fine then, you know. Nigeria witnessed tremendous development and peace. That's what this guy said. I want to take you through some other reactions from Nigerians. Let's just see what other people are saying, and then we'll continue from. So this other person says, Ruben is speaking as though he has been programmed to promote tribalism and religion, fueling division by using the civil war. This kind of rhetoric is dangerous and outdated. Young people today are fully aware of who the competent candidates are. By claiming that the North would not buy into his effectively implies that Northerners are largely illiterate, an insulting and condescending remark. As for Abati, he's quite clear he's up for sale. This one is rough, honestly. Now, another person again reacted and said, Abati has validated my submission. I told people that Nigeria-Biafra war has not ended. It just assumed a different form. Another person said, we all know, but we shall prevail. If only our Southeast leaders have done the right thing, we won't be here. Another person said, this guy has been paid by APC. To continue with the narrative, but I believe he is still living in the past. Another person said he's saying the truth, even though he's a known tout and bigot. This other person said, I found Dr. Abati's speech completely unsympathetic to the deep-seated anger that exists. His words seem to strongly support the mistreatment of the Igbos, and his demeaning look made him appear out of place like a northerner wearing a western robe. It was truly a shame. Another person said, what happened in 1970 was the open engagement of the war. Nigeria still have an Igbo problem. Nigeria is where it is today because the folk like Abango, his likes in the Southwest. Another person said, the North must follow Obi, else Tinubu continues. We too, no mumu, civil will continue. Maybe civil war, so I don't know what the person means. But Abango is the closest tribulated woman. There's nothing to write home about with him. I don't know what that means. And another person said that he still keep babbling about sharing food, blah blah blah, shows how despicable he is. I mean, who do people fake offense over things like this? Obi said he would do one time to respect the existing zoning formula. He said he is supposed to get our accolades for making it open. I think that's true. Okay, I think I have to take this tweet again. The person say that he still keeps blabbling about sharing food, blah blah blah, shows how despicable he is. I mean, why do people take offense over things like this? Obi said he would do one time and respect the zoning formula. He is supposed to get our accolades for making it open. Another person again said, the vituperations of Abati today is all you need to know about the region fueling the Igbo hate in Nigeria. In the coming days, you will see more and more from people you never believe will have such deep-seated hate from the Igbo. I am only happy I have met other Yorubas. Another person said, it's like this guy Abati has problem with Igbos. Or because the North don't want to support his brother Tinubu, that's why he's angry of them supporting Peter Obi. Wow, Peter Obi, sir, may God continue to bless and protect you. At least you have made us to know the kind of people we have. So guys, there are a lot of reactions here. This other person said, the real question Nigerians are asking Ruben Abati is this: how does he have an Igbo problem? Generalizing that the North has an Igbo problem is a fallacy. In the last election, the North, especially the North Central, voted massively for Peter Obi. The North is not a monolith. This other person is an old Mugu person. We don't get white beards for Bola. Still, they follow children play with sand. If you remove politics, Abati is a failed man. He couldn't achieve anything outside governance. Another person say, why the citizens from the Southeast region, we the citizens of the Southeast region should return all investment back home. Also does those in diaspora invest in Southeast today. Let's ask question, how can we invest in Southeast? What kind of investment? Where do we put our wealth? Yes, we can. I think that makes sense. This other person said, they that should divide the country. Then they should divide the country, let everyone go his separate way. You cannot force people to be together and be marginalizing them again. Reuben Abati cannot sit down in the studio and summarize the northern opinion. That makes him all this Yoruba, Lagos, Ibadan, Express, brown envelope media should stop. So guys, honestly, Reuben Abati is wrong to have openly said Peter Obi is desperate. If you watch the video, you will see where Reuben Abati said Peter Obi is desperate. He was even sharing food because it shows a sign of desperation. Peter Obi want to offer one term. It shows a sign of desperation and all that. It makes no sense. I think Reuben Abati owes Peter Obi an apology. Honestly, Reuben Abati owes Peter Obi an apology because nobody expected him to go this raw against Peter Obi. We have addressed the issue of Peter Obi sharing food. Peter Obi went to a birthday, a reverend father's birthday in the southeast. If Peter Obi want to share food, is he in the southeast? He will share food. If Peter Obi want to beg people to vote for him, is he in the southeast where he won almost 100%? Should that be where Peter Obi should be making, begging people? Reuben Abati should please. Don't let people drag you, okay? Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.